Alright, so I know this isn't necessarily like a great first impression or a good idea for a first video for a YouTube channel. Especially one with like a budget of $3, like you can see the quality of this is from a 720p webcam. But I figured rants are entertaining, so I'm gonna just get into it. So,
Bruh.
to all other college students out there, I'm sure most of you aren't the owners of like Audis or shoes that are, worth more than this computer that I'm using right now. But we probably all rely on FAFSA to pay for college, financial aid. Well, FAFSA and its processing sweatshops are great people, and they truly make people's financial situations better. I love them. Beautiful boys. But I visited the financial aid office at my school 5 times total. I've visited 5 times, and 2 of the 5 times were to sort out paperwork that just feels like bullshit. It is doo-doo. And it seems like overkill sometimes. Like, the FAFSA, I have no reason to lie to you, dude. Like, you're gonna give me money, I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna not lie. This rant's gonna be about a third situation, I guess, because this is gonna be like the 6th time I've been there. So, I'm gonna take it back to October 2018. So that's when, like, if you do FAFSA, that's when it first, like, opens up, October 1st, I believe, or whatever. I filed, like, the 2nd day, because the 1st day, it's a government website. It goes to shit instantly. Everything just crashes. And, of course, I'm sitting there with my dad. I'm copying down relevant income and tax information that we could find since we tried using the IRS data retrieval tool, which I'll get to that later. That's a real shit show, too. We still put in the info, so we figured, oh, IRS will be able to back us up, whatever. We put everything in by hand, get it over with, turn in the FAFSA early, and then, of course, I'm done. And then now, some more exposition or whatever. Like, I have a little brother, and he's going to enter his 1st year of college right now in the fall. And conveniently, after I'm done with mine, and it's like, oh, it's time to file his. Well, there's a button that you could say, hey, let's copy over and file for a sibling the same info. So, yeah, I just click the button, and it's everything that was the relevant tax information and parent information. Copies over. My brother just puts a 0 in a few boxes where I would have put like fucking like maybe 150, 200 bucks max for my bank accounts and shit. And I hope this would be the end of the story, but that wouldn't make for a good video. And so my college decided 6 months after I filed, because it only took 2 days to process, but like October 4th or 5th or whatever, our FAFSAs were processed after being submitted. So my school, they do this thing where it's called having a big ass endowment when it comes to funding or some shit, and then wasting it all because they don't know what they're doing. So, my college spilled 70 million or something like that, like an insane amount, into a shiny new student services building that looks like a turtle. Everybody loves it. It's a nice little building, but they doubled the workforce, and you know what comes when you double a workforce? More bureaucracy and paperwork. Woohoo! Because that's what college and the real world is all about. So, yeah, they got rid of the old building because the old building was on a sinkhole and a fault line or some shit. It was a nice building, it was dying. So basically, they decided instead of being like, oh, we have double the workforce, we could help double the people. No, they just introduced some more paperwork. So it's like if a monkey was wiping his ass with his bare hand and flinging his doo-doo crumbs onto the visitors at a zoo when everybody was paying to be there. That's basically what it's like. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get back to the rant, but so basically, the paperwork is usually something I'm okay with. Like, I'm fine with filling out paperwork, putting in my data into shit, because it's good to be organized. It's good for them to have paperwork. That shows that they're taking your shit seriously, and they're like, okay, we're tracking and documenting what's going on. But this is where the train derails and kills 76 passengers and costs a small town several $1 million in property damage because they don't know what they're doing. So, one of the forms I have to return for my financial aid verification is the parent tax filer information form. And this form reeks of paper waste and impending frustration no matter how you look at it. Like, they don't have an e-form that you can turn in online. They can't have you like link shit online. They want you to turn it into their office physically. So that's already a waste of paper. And I try to do the cheapest option. Hear me out. You'll see, but like, okay. The only options for documentation when submitting this form were to print out your FAFSA's confirmation page, which luckily, like an organized human being, when I was done with it, I screenshotted both of them for me and my brother and saved them to my dad's laptop. And we used that, like, and we're like, okay, we printed that and put them on the form, which I just have a quick example right here, is like what the form looks like or whatever. And we turn it in with just the confirmation page for FAFSA that says that you've used the IRS data retrieval tool. Of course, I knew I was probably not going to be able to get away with this because the tool did not necessarily work. But we did put in our information completely truthfully, and like we had the IRS things set up. I thought, at least. We tried to sign into the IRS and get our shit set up. But whatever. I was prepared for it to not come back submitted successfully or whatever. I was ready to email. I was like, okay. So, of course, I tried to cheese the system. I picked the option that prints out a total of 4 pages if you count one form for me and my confirmation page, and then one form for my brother and one for my brother's confirmation page. So that's 4 papers total, as opposed to I have it all on my desk right now. I currently have, I think, 16 pages. So, yeah. It took like 5 business days after, like, April 19th is when I turned in all the forms. There were 3 different forms, so there's more paperwork involved, but this is the more annoying one. So, whoops, lost my train of thought, lol. The clerk at the financial aid desk, like, said she put the papers into the system or whatever. I was like, whatever, that's fine. It takes a few days. So we didn't turn them into, like, April 19th, but that's still not bad because we have until June 21st. So, like, after a week, or like 2 weeks, about after the forms were open, I turned them in. And it took almost 2 weeks for the tax filer one to just disappear, because we have a to-do list at our school. And basically that to-do list says, hey, turn this shit in or else you're not getting financial aid. And I turned it all in. It took 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, cool, I can relax, because this was like week 12 or 13 or something, and finals week was coming up pretty soon. And I was like able to wind down and chill, study or whatever. So then, would you guess it? This rant's still going on. You could see the time bar on the bottom. You got a while to go. Bruh. In a shocking twist of events, on May 15th, at least like a week and a half, 2 weeks after the thing disappeared and said, you're good, you can have your financial aid. Nearly a whole month after I initially turned in the forms, and also coincidentally, that's the day I had my last final and was done for the summer, I thought, the tax filer information form reappears in my to-do list. And I'm like, ah, shit. So I get an email and they say, yo, the financial aid office couldn't confirm that you used the IRS data retrieval tool. You're going to need to submit the form again with like a tax return transcript or whatever. I was like, okay, sure. So I let it slip from my priority list for a few days so I could at least enjoy my summer break and be a lazy fuck for like 3 days. So then on the 19th, I start stressing a little bit about it, getting it started. And right now it's the 20th while I'm making this, but today I sat down with my dad, went to the IRS website and got our info on our tax return transcript. Everything was solved, I thought, and it is, in a way. Like, I could be happy because at least now I got my financial aid and I won't, you know, perish from paying $10,000 when I can't balance a part-time job and at least 15 units minimum at school all the time so I can get out in time. Whatever. So, yeah, I still got shit to be pissed about. This video's still going on, so you can remember my brother's FAFSA. I said that there was a duplicate button for all the parent information. So essentially, his FAFSA is a complete duplicate of mine when it comes to the parent info. Essentially, his FAFSA was submitted like 5 minutes after mine was submitted because it's the same info except he just had to change like 1 or 2 pages. And you would think, well, if I would have to do things twice, once to save my ass and again to make sure that my brother's first school year isn't a shit show and he just suffers. It turns out the school processed both of our parent tax filer forms that were the exact same information at the same time, and you know how we didn't use the IRS data retrieval tool for either FAFSA? Mine took them a month to say, sorry, we can't do it, you gotta do that. My brother's, no, it's successfully filed in the 10 business days, and his financial aid package is complete. You can view it, whatever. So I'm just wondering, how the is my verification inadequate when my FAFSA was the original information and my brother's is a copy of it? And like once the form's processed, his financial aid is available for viewing. Mine still wasn't even visible after the like 2 weeks and it actually did process. I still couldn't see, so I was like, whatever, that's just weird. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. So since this is like my first video on this channel, this isn't typically the content I would produce since I've had a few previous channels. Like the most recently previous one was Jala Malone or whatever. It was like mostly gaming videos, and I've decided that I'm going to retire that for now because I feel I've grown marginally, at least. I'm a little bit more mature as a creator, and I could be more successful with a fresh start and some shameless self-promotion, looking like a douche out on the internet, as opposed to trying to revive a channel I've neglected for almost a year. So yeah, of course, feel free to check out my old shit. It's kind of subpar compared to the quality I'll try to strive for here. Of course, I'm saying this and then using a 720p $20 webcam from fucking Best Buy or whatever. But I still enjoy making that content. I'm going to try to make this channel more enjoyable for me. Whoops, hit the mic. And for anybody else that watches. So Anyways, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, let out a massive fucking shark if you need to, and I don't know. See you for the next video if you're here. Thank you for watching.